But then there are those who are concerned that the National Assembly is going out of its responsibilities as prescribed by the Constitution to even begin to reorder the elections.
Well, you see, on that issue of reordering the election, I think I need to say something concerning even the present Electoral Act. That is Section 25 itself. It talks about days for election, and Section 25(1) itself actually gives order for election. It says the election to the office of the President, the Vice President, Deputy, shall be conducted in the following order. It starts with the Senate and the House of Representatives, B, the President, and C, State House of Assembly and Governorship. So that existing Electoral Act itself deals with order of election. So I really don't know why there's a lot of agitation.
The agitation is at the point of reordering it.
No. If that existing law itself has given an order, it has prescribed an order. And don't forget, the last election was conducted in accordance with this Electoral Act, in accordance with that order. It is just that this present act did not specify a day on which...
Is the National Assembly in order to have tried to reorder the sequence?
My own personal opinion is that I think they are in order in trying to put a sequence of election. No, because the truth of the matter is that the power to legislate on election under the exclusive legislative leave is vested in the National Assembly without any qualification.
But in whose best interest will this reordering be? Because when you consider that if it ain't broken, then why change? Why fix it?
You see, for me, the real issue is once the election is free, fair, transparent, and accountable, why does it matter in what order these elections are conducted?
Then would you subscribe to holding the elections all in one day?
If it is logistically possible, yes. You know, all these are matters of logistics. Is it possible? You know, for example, we have so many political parties. Right now, maybe about 60-something political parties.
And there are more coming.
And there are more coming. So is it logistically possible for INEC to conduct all the elections in one day?
I thought they were going electronic.
Even if it's electronic, whether it's electronic or not, there still has to be. You have to more or less inform voters that you still have to vote on each election separately, no matter whether it's electronically done or not. House of Rep, you have to vote for your candidate. Senate, you have to vote for your candidate, whoever they may be. I mean, you're not bound to vote for one party.
Okay, so the Senate, before Chief comes in, so you said the National Assembly is in order. So, in other words, the National Assembly can wake up today or any time they feel like and say we want to change this as far as it falls within the time frame to the next elections.
You see, what you must understand from what I have said is that I said they can do that, but the real question is when does that amendment take effect? Can it be retroactive? Because don't forget, INEC has already fixed the date for the election to be conducted next year in accordance with the provisions of this act. That's the only act that is existing. Yes. Okay, so can you now, by an amendment, purport to revoke what INEC has done in accordance with the... I don't think so.
So, okay.
I don't think so.
Let's get you to respond to that. I mean, can it be described as though the law be retroactive if they amend this law?
If they make an amendment, it takes effect from the day either assented or it is passed.
Even though INEC had come up with the register for elections?
Yes, INEC will have to fall in line with the law. You see, let me point out about the power. You know, I had earlier taken side with a group that said the National Assembly has no power to fix the sequence of election. At that time, my attention was not drawn to the first alteration
of the Constitution.
Which
then says in accordance to
the Electoral Act. So that's where that power was removed from INEC in 2010. So what we are doing now is to cry over split milk or to lock in the stable after the horse has bolted. They got that power. It was when I read Professor Morege that I went to check, and I found that they now, at that time it was in NUCOS, shifted the power to fix the order of election in accordance with the Electoral Act.
But not the date.
No, sequence.
Yes,
Sequence different from date. You can fix 20th of January or whatever the bet that this one shall come first.
Let's talk about the reason or the believed or perceived reason why some of these things are happening. First, they say that it's got to do with the order. They want to, even though they will deny and tell you, no, we're not putting this first so that we will win or so that anybody will lose. But if you go down, give us the benefit of hindsight and history, the first elections that usually happen on the general election days or years, as it were, is it really guaranteed that those first elections, does it always go the way they think now that it will go, Chief Ngige?
Well, where the election is free and fair, the sequence does not matter. Everybody will answer his father's name. But unless there is Jonathan's experience is a very recent example. They went and fixed presidential first. What happened? They lost. So for me, it's neither here nor there. This president enjoys court following in many parts of the country. Whether it is first or second or last, the court following is still there.
Yes.
As far as
You think he's going to win the elections?
I'm not saying that he's going to win. That would be the
different category.
yes. I'm not Prophet Olabayo. So, for me, the INEC ought to be using the less controversial election first. If you look at since 1999, National Assembly election, in 1999, it was first taken. 2003, National Assembly taken with State House of Assembly. It was in 2015 that they put presidential first. And you saw what happened. Card reader failed in many parts of the country, leading the chairman of INEC then to issue a circular hastily authorizing manual accreditation, and which brought confusion in many parts of the country. Some electoral officer will tell you, I'm not aware of the circular, the card reader is not working, no voting. In some areas, they now say everybody should stand in line, manual has been approved. It brought confusion. So when you do less controversial election first, it enables INEC to perfect the process in the subsequent one. That's my own personal view about the sequence of election.
What do you think about it?
Yes, I have to agree with Chief Emeka Ngige saying that really the sequence of election is really of no moment. Once the
Is it
election
because we're not
free,
politicians? Because they seem to see things differently,
no,
politicians.
once the elections are free and fair, really, then it really doesn't matter.
Have you had a case of free and fair elections in Nigeria? That's a big question.
I think there is a unanimity of opinion that the June 12th election was free and fair. And even the international 2015 and even 1999 election too, there was a broad spectrum of view that that elections were free.
Or to the extent that the court eventually determined so. Or we leave it at that.
And to the extent that, of course, the courts have upheld. You know,
Because people still have the opinions about those elections.
The basis upon which the courts have upheld the elections is not necessarily on the basis that the elections were free and fair. More often than not, it's on the basis that, well, the petitioner has failed to bring forth the evidence to sustain the allegations in the petition. So it's really more of there is no evidence to support your allegation, there is no evidence to support your allegations.